Hi gang, welcome to Mike on Monday, the West Ham show made by a bloke called Mike that goes out on a Monday. So, West Ham this week lost 2-0 away at relegation doomed Cardiff. Oh, what were you thinking, West Ham? Why? Oh, I tell you what, let's find out why by asking Mike over at the Tactics Centre what he made of this rather shocking defeat. Mike, what did you make of it?
Thanks, Mike. On Saturday, West Ham United visited Cardiff City for the Premier League fixture. Cardiff City, threatened by relegation, managed to beat West Ham by 2-0. West Ham were fancied beforehand to win the game by many, including most West Ham supporters. So what happened? Some feared that West Ham would be outfought by Cardiff City, but in reality, West Ham were outthought by Cardiff City. Cardiff used the imaginative technique of scoring 2 goals during the game, while West Ham failed to score at all. Therefore, Cardiff City won the game by scoring more goals. It finished Cardiff City 2, West Ham United 0, and all the points went to Cardiff City. West Ham got nothing. Back to Mike in the studio.
Thanks, Mike. Beautiful. Poetic even. Very profound. You won't see that sort of coverage on Sky TV, will you, people? No. So what do we make? Come in. What do we make of this, people? What are we to make of this? We have better players than Cardiff. We have a better team than Cardiff. We have a better manager than Cardiff. But we lost. And I've got to be honest, personally speaking, I'm not that surprised because we weren't very good against Fulham or Newcastle, but we beat them because they were even less good, if you know what I mean. And I think that we seem to lack any kind of intensity or cutting edge, and we have done for a while. Look at the facts against Cardiff. We had 70% of the possession but still only managed 2 shots on target in the entire game. Cardiff had a whopping 7. So yeah, thrill them in a game for these supporters who made their way up there. I think it's been like this really since January. I think the whole Marko Arnautovic thing really scuppered the team, and the whole sort of team spirit, etc., went out the window then. So I'm really interested to see what happens over the next few games with regards to that. Which brings us on to the next topic of conversation, which is this week it was leaked, i.e. seeped out into the media via the usual channels from the club to Clarence Hugh, ex-West Ham employee, etc., that West Ham will be spending around 25 million quid in the summer. That's the budget for players. This has caused much wailing and gnashing of teeth in a lot of the other channel, and in fact this channel did a show about it, and Pellegrini would also be able to keep money raised from other players. Now, that doesn't sound like an awful lot in the Premier League world, does it, people? 25 million, but I suspect it's fine. And the reason I suspect it's fine is because, okay, we've just lost to Cardiff and we haven't been playing well for a few weeks. But on paper, there isn't a whole lot more needs doing. Now, hear me out here. Ultimately, we've got a striker situation now, because I think Arnautovic needs to go and will go in the summer. I don't know whether Hernandez is going to stay. I know he wasn't very good against Cardiff, but he was pretty good for the last couple of games. But I don't think he's the solution either, and Perez needs to go, and Carroll's contract will be up and he'll be gone. So we've got a strike situation. But other than that, there isn't wholesale rebuilding needed like there was last summer, for example. So if we were to bring in a number 10 or an attacking midfielder, they're not they're not going to come, are they? Because Lanzini's going to get in, and don't forget you've got my Yarmolenko and Anderson and Antonio and Snodgrass. We're well stocked there. I still think we're short of a central midfielder because there's a reason that we're not higher up the league, and the reason we're not higher up the league, one of the main reasons for that, is central midfield. I really think we need an energetic box-to-box player to play with Rice, and now I know I'm excluding Noble at this point, and I think he will still have a big part to play in our season next season, but I do think he needs upgrading. I know he can pass well, and I know he's Mr. West Ham, and I am an admirer of Mark Noble, don't get me wrong, but we need a box-to-box, high-energy style midfielder, I think. I think the other thing is we probably need is a left back, but it's going to be hard to get a top end left back who's going to play back up to Creswell, and they will play back up to Creswell. So I think it's worth thinking about the fact that we probably need a sort of young up and coming type of left back rather than a top end left back. Other than that, unless we sell, I don't you think we need to bring in loads and loads of players, and we will sell as well. So I know I've just said we don't need loads of players and we're going to sell our entire strike force, and I think the majority of the strike force will go, but that will bring in money and Pellegrini will get to keep that money. I suspect strongly that he already has plans for this because he and Hisselos knew all about this some time ago, so I'm not panicking about that yet, and I don't think we're miles away from having a really good team. What I find a little more baffling is the way that we start games so slowly. We didn't against Newcastle with all the great pre-match build-up to do with Billy Bonds, and but other games we just start so slowly, and that isn't about buying a new striker or midfielder, that's about how the team is set up to go out and start the game. So one's on you, Pellegrini. Take it from me, you need to look at that. But £25 million to some people it seems an outrageously small amount to spend in the summer transfer window. Let's ask an expert, somebody who I know is great at spending large amounts of money, and let's go and talk to Mikhail over in Moscow, our Russian correspondent, and see what he makes of the £25 million proposed amount of money we're going to be spending on summer transfer budget thing. Mikhail, can you hear me over there in Moscow? Greetings from Moscow! Yes, and so you are in West Ham, of Ham, United West Ham. You have a budget for the summer of £25 million for players and socks. Socks are expensive. Yes, I know this. Yes, and so are vests. We buy many of them here in Russia, where it is sometimes cold. It is Moscow here. Yes, and so. Greetings from Moscow. £25 million, you are complaining, but it is many money, many monies to spend. In Russia, you can buy Siberia or Lokomotiv Moscow for £25 million. In fact, here in Russia, you can buy the whole of the country of Russia for £25 million. Yes, and so. Toilet is broken. Greetings from Moscow. Brilliant. Thanks, Mikhail. Absolutely fantastic. Top end foreign correspondent reporting there from Mikhail in Moscow. And now, folks, to my favourite part of the show where I get to go through your messages and answer your questions. Yay! This way, let's go. Thanks so much for your questions. You can leave a question for me below here in the comments below, or you can tweet me at WHUMike, which several people have done this week, and you can ask questions that way. So on with it. Our first question is from Forever Blowing Bubbles. Lovely name there, Forever. As he asks, as we're safe from relegation, what would you like to see from West Ham for the rest of the season? Good question, Forever. What I would like to see is more of the academy players coming into the team, because I do think our first team is getting a little bit complacent, as witnessed by recent performances. And I would really like to see some of those academy players given a chance over the next few games to, and hopefully add a bit more dynamism and intensity. I'd like to also see better beer and more hugs at the stadium. Nice one forever. Andrew Wickstead, he asks, Mike, have you swapped loud shirts for loud ties? Clearly not, Andrew, as you can plainly see from my quite plain attire today. So, but thanks for the question. In last week's show, I talked about our hottie for the season. Hammer of the Year, of course, is what I mean by hottie. I was mentioning a lot of people asked, a couple of people asked who I thought would be Hammer of the Year so far this year, and many of you replied by leaving in your comments below who you thought Hammer of the Year would be, and our quick straw poll here on Mike on Monday revealed that Fabianski is by far the winner from most of you, with Declan Rice coming in a noble second. However, it's very notable that most people who said Fabianski for me, etc., also said they think Rice will win it anyway. So quite important, I think, for us all to vote for Fabianski if that's how we feel. I think he is my Hammer of the Year as well, just ahead of Declan Rice, who will probably win Young Hammer of the Year anyway. So just an update on the hottie for the end of the season awards, eh? But speaking of Declan Rice, Hammerman USA sent me a message through Twitter, and he asked, do you think Declan Rice will be the next West Ham captain? Not the next one, Hammerman USA, over there in the States, I assume you are. I think it's a bit too soon for him. I think he still needs to just focus on being a player for now and getting that part right, though he's doing a very good job of it, clearly. But I mean, I do think that he will eventually be West Ham captain. If Martin Noble isn't captain next season, it will probably go to someone else, I don't know who, but we've got, I think Declan Rice has leadership qualities, and I'd like to see him one day get that job, as maybe the season after next, I don't know, but I can see it happening sometime in the future, just not quite yet, Hammerman USA. And finally, David D. I'm loving David D. Not David A, B or C or E yet, but David D. has asked, do I think that we will beat Huddersfield next Saturday? David, if we turn up as complacently as we did for the last few games, then no, we won't. And we better actually start again with some intensity. Basically, none of these teams are pushovers. I know Cardiff aren't a great team. On paper, Cardiff are way worse than us, and ditto Huddersfield. Mind you, Huddersfield can't score a goal to save their lives, but I still think we will struggle against them if we play in that lacklustre way again. So we should beat Huddersfield, but will we? Only somebody who can look into the future could really know. But thanks for watching, folks. If you do have a question, as I say, leave it down below, or you can tweet me at WHUMike. I will be back next Monday with more lunacy and silliness on this very show. Don't forget to subscribe to both Hammer's Chat channels. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoy the show, like that thumbs up. I mean, don't literally put your thumb up at the screen, click the thumb up part there. And I will look forward to seeing you next Monday for more Mike on Monday. Until then, come on you irons.